How do you market things? You have to understand the psychology of people. You could have the best product in the world. You put all the money into it. But you don't know how to market it? What good does it do? Marketing is pure psychology. It's very, very hard to master the nonverbal communication aspect, which is so important. He's a total manic obsessive person, to the point where he was mentally ill. How do you market things? You have to understand the psychology of people. You could have the best product in the world. You put all the money into it. But you don't know how to market it? What good does it do? Marketing is pure psychology. What I wanted to do in The Art of Seduction was to show that seduction is a bit of psychology. It's a strategy. What ties all seductions together is people are resistant to you. Nobody is naturally open to another stranger, right? Seduction is getting those walls down, getting to crumble, getting to lower down to a point where they are going to maybe do what you want, where they're interested in your project, where they're interested in following, where they want to be involved with you in some way. It's the art of bringing all of their defenses down. And if you do it too directly, if you hit them with the hard sell, the walls just go back up, because we're all wary of people who will give us the hard sell. But if you come from the side and you do the soft sell and you're gentle and you do like a viral approach, like everybody else is buying my product. I don't need to go out there and market it and have advertising. And most often, creating those kind of viral effects is by far the strongest marketing tool that you can have. And I have a chapter in that in The Art of Seduction. So you have to understand that people don't naturally want to buy your product. They don't want to listen to your music. They don't want to read your books. They're not interested in you. How do you seduce them into doing that is the name of the game. All right, Machiavelli's The Prince. And my favorite podcast? Well, I can tell you the most fun I've had on a podcast that I've been on. I don't watch a lot of podcasts because I'm way too busy. But I had the best time on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and he's so much fun to watch.
That was a loose one? You guys got loose?
Very much so. And
we'll pop that up here.
I can always watch it because he's really interesting. He's somebody who's very unpredictable. You never know exactly where he's going to come from, and that's what makes him such a great interviewer. And so if you're out there, Theo, I really enjoyed your podcast. I'm really into health and fitness. Obviously, I had a stroke, so it's even a little bit more urgent from me. So there's some companies out there, some startups that have done really well. So I'm thinking of a company called Momentous.
Great supplement company.
Great supplement company. And I'll tell you what the most important skill is in the business world. We talked about it earlier, but there's something else, which is everything now is so inhuman. You can never talk to anybody over the phone or wherever, say you're dissatisfied with their product or something went wrong, right? They put you through this maze like a rat so that you hang up, so that you never get to have to talk to a human being. Everything has to be online. There's no feedback. There's no relationship between the client and the product, people selling the product. And we all feel so frustrated with it. Everybody's dealt with that. Everybody hates it. Sometimes you just want to talk to somebody, you want to hear them. Companies that give you feedback, that are open to interacting with you, yeah, it costs money. Yeah, instead of farming it out to some people in Pakistan who are on a phone bank answering you, it's actually somebody in Texas on a phone you can understand, who's telling you, how they can write it. Well, Momentous is that kind of company. Great products, really well managed, really well put together, some of the best supplements that you can find, and they're friendly. They're open to you. They interact with you. I'd send some flowers to them. This is a non-business book. Let's be honest with it. But there is the chapter I just wrote has something to do with the business world. The chapter I just wrote is about willpower and resilience and how important that is to be able to deal with pain, suffering, and adversity and challenges, and how that makes you stronger and a better person. and how that is a sublime power in the human animal, to be so resilient where nothing can beat you down, where you allow yourself to feel the pain and you grow from it. The thing is, if things are you're immersed in the virtual realm, it's very, very hard to master the nonverbal communication aspect, which is so important. So if you're dating from an app and you're flipping through and then you find that person, you've missed out on the greatest experience of life, which is actually having to go out to a bar or go to a restaurant or go to a social event and have to literally encounter another person and deal with looking at their behavior and kind of assessing who they are. It's a muscle that you have to pay attention to nonverbal communication. And if you're just, going through the emojis or going through the Tinder apps, that muscle completely atrophies. You have no power. You're not able to decipher anything. And that's what's happening with a lot of people who are using these apps. Social skills are like any skill at all. You have to develop them. It's a muscle you have to develop. And you've all noticed this probably in your own life. If you've gone through a period where you're kind of retreating, you don't want to be around people, and you spend a month like that, and then you go out, you feel awkward. It takes you like a couple days to get used to being around other people. You say stupid things, your body language is awkward. But if you're in a situation for months where you're constantly interacting with people, you're on a film set and day in, day out, that skill starts developing. But you have to be out there in the world. You have to be interacting. You have to be looking at people's emotions. You have to be gauging them in real time. We're not built for virtual encounters. We're creatures of flesh and blood. And we need to be looking at each other in the eye and paying attention to all these little details, these nuances that you can only get in person. Well, I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, but I'm kind of very concerned about it. I mentioned before about anxiety, the role that anxiety plays in thinking. You come upon an idea and you go, yeah, that's so good. And then you go to the next level and it becomes better. And you go, oh, maybe that's not so good. Then you go to the next level. You go to level 3 and it gets better and better. You have anxiety. Another aspect of intelligence is self-awareness, right? The ability to look at yourself, go, I have biases. I have confirmation bias. I have conviction bias. I have recency bias. I have to counteract these things. I also have a dark side. I have aggression. I have to be aware of how they color my thinking, my emotions. The third quality that goes into intelligence, I'm talking about now intelligence, not artificial. Intelligence is the ability to deal anxiety and go to a third level. Intelligence is the ability to look inside of yourself and see your own biases. And the third thing is the ability to see a holistic picture, the kind of aha moment that scientists have, where you accumulate all kind of data points, and then out of nowhere, an image comes to your mind of, yeah, there's the answer. You see the whole thing. You see the whole gestalt, right? Simone Weil compared it to a square cube. You can only see a cube from one side, or you can never see a square cube. You can only see a side of it. If it's rotating, you're still only seeing sides of it. Only in your mind can you picture the whole thing. So the mind has to go through a process to have holistic thinking. If they can invent a machine that can deal with anxiety and has anxiety and can go to level 3, if they can make a machine that can be self-aware, that can go, the people who program me have biases, therefore I have biases. I also have a dark side because people have programmed me who have a dark side. If this machine can also think holistically beyond all of the data points and all the massive information it's combined, it can have that aha moment. All right, I can see a human consciousness. I can see creativity there. When I talk about in mastery, about what we said earlier about your primal inclinations, what I'm saying is it's the ultimate individualist philosophy, because they're saying there's something in you when you're born that you were meant to achieve. You were meant to start a business that reflects something about who you are, or write a book, or do something in politics, or whatever. And if you cultivate that, you're going to end up creating something that's peculiar to you and inevitably has a touch of weirdness about it. Because if you're so much an individual, you're not like anybody else. You are literally idiosyncratic. And that has an edge of madness or whatever you want. But all of the great achievers, if you go back, had moments early on in their life where people thought that this guy's is a nutcase. I mean, a classic case would be Steve Jobs. He's a total manic, obsessive person, to the point where he was mentally ill, and people thought that, and they got rid of him out of Apple because they couldn't stand the guy. He was like toxic, a nightmare. Okay, now if he never came back to Apple, we would never be talking about Steve Jobs. He would have been a failure, or maybe not a complete failure, but nothing like what he is now. So all of these people have that touch because they know that there's something inside of themselves that's different. They're going to cultivate it, and they're going to create a business, or they're going to make a discovery that's unique to them. And that is pure brilliance. And if in our school system, I think a lot of problems are with boys more than girls these days. Because I know myself and a lot of boys, when you're really young, you've got a lot of energy. You're restless. You can't really, you're 8 years old, you want to be out there playing or doing something. You want to sit there and read. And they're sitting there looking at teachers, or looking at little boys, and they're going, man, I can't handle this kid. Let's put him on a drug. Let's drug him into being obedient or whatever. I don't want to generalize so much, but I know it's more of a problem with a lot of boys. Whereas, in fact, in my generation, you just would have gone out in the playground and got all your energy out. We've got to learn to respect people's differences and understand that not everyone is a student. I make the point in Mastery. And mastery isn't about writing a book or being an intellectual. If you work with your hands, or you're Michael Jordan, you're a master. You're an architect, or you're the guy who helped redo the patio on my house. He was a master. It's not about an intellectual thing. Working with our hands is very powerful. Whatever it is that you do, you need to cultivate it and understand what makes you different. That's inevitably going to make you a weirdo. And let's celebrate it. Well, it's called the law. Its provisional title is The Laws of Human Nature. And basically, it's an expansion of Chapter 4 in Mastery on social intelligence.
Okay.
And the idea is that we're social animals. We're by far the most brilliant social animal that ever existed. It's the source of our power. We're able to understand each other on a level that no other animal can communicate on. And our success in life depends on our ability to get along with other people and also defend ourselves from other people that are trying to harm us in whatever way or compete against us. So our ability to navigate that environment is going to separate us from failure and success. And we are mostly operating blindly. We don't know what's going on in the minds of other people. We're guessing. And a lot of our guessing comes from ourselves, our narcissism, our egotism. We project onto them our own emotions. And because of that, we're constantly misreading, misunderstandings, problems, failure, disaster. But we're born with an amazing capacity to understand people if we learn to develop it through empathy, through a great deal of knowledge, through understanding these timeless laws of what makes human beings tick.